everyone, and welcome back to the She Shoots podcast, Women Empowering Women in the Shooting Community, Season 3, Episode 25. Vanessa Harrop, Super Slam Award winner 2024. And today we'll be covering the theme of shooting sports. Whew. My name is Regina Ruiz Ordonez, and I'm from the Canadian University Shooting Federation. Joining me today, as always, are Denise Tamlin and Casey Gavinchuk from Lady Guns, and Kelly Milan from Maple Seed Project, Slamfire Radio, and CCFR Women's Program. I would like to start by thanking our sponsors, Cabela's Canada Outdoor Fund, positively shaping the future of the outdoors. Every cent donated by rounding up at checkout goes towards helping Canadian organizations just like ours. Savage Arms, home to the Stevens single-shot rifles and shotguns. Beretta, family-owned and operated since 1526. Vortex, the best in optics, and Canada First Ammo. If you have any questions or comments throughout the show, it's going to be a day today. Make sure to leave them in the chat box below. Doing so will automatically enter you in the draw for today's giveaways. Today we have a She Shoots t-shirt and a Canada First Ammo prize bag. That's it for me, thankfully. Now I'll give it up to Deneen and Kelly, who will hopefully have some better words than I do today. So we'll see.
All good, Rahina, all good. Thank you very much, and welcome everybody to She Shoots. Really excited tonight to have Vanessa with us. Vanessa has been a guest with us, but it's been a couple of years, and we have something so exciting to share with everybody tonight that just happened. So I normally have the honor of reading a bio, but we have that on our website. So if you want Vanessa's bio, go check it out on the website. I'm going to read something that was released yesterday, a fantastic media release, and then we get the chance to talk all about it. So I'm just going to bear with me as I read the fine print here. Vanessa Harrop, co-host of Canada's longest-running independently produced television hunting series, Outdoor Quest TV, was recently awarded the Bob Spiegel Super Slam Summit Award in the rifle category by Grand Slam Club Ovis at the Safari Club International Convention in Nashville. So this award is named after a gentleman named Robert Spiegel, and he has quite the illustrious background, but I'm going to skip to a couple of things that are super important about tonight. This award recognizes the top overall North American trophy submitted with rifle as voted on by a GSCO committee. So Harrop won the award for a muskox she took in 2022 with the Canadian Wildlife Adventures in the Northwest Territories. And I hope you'll share a little bit with us tonight, Vanessa, about that hunt. So this bull ranks number 4 overall in Boone and Crockett, number 2 in the Safari Club International Rifle category. This is the most fantastic award because Harrop is the first woman to receive this award. In 2022, she also became one of only 14 women to complete her Super 10 of North American big game. So there's lots more in this media release. I would love to read about how amazing you are, Vanessa, but instead, how about we talk with you and learn more about you? So Kelly and I get the honor. Kelly, how are you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good. Can you hear me?
Awesome. We can hear you fantastic.
Awesome, because everybody's been cutting in and out. So I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me as well. So
absolutely.
Super excited to have Vanessa on this evening. One of some great things that you've been awarded over the really recent history, but also we've had you on previously when we were doing some things with the women's program for CUSIV. So excited to have you back on. So thanks for coming on, Vanessa, tonight.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's get into your background a little bit. Now, Denise did read. I can't even talk tonight. She did read a lot about you, but why don't you tell everybody about yourself? How'd you grow up? Where you grew up? That type of background, if you were actually involved in shooting as a youngster.
So interesting. I actually didn't come from a hunting family. In fact, part of my family was anti-hunting. So I was never exposed to hunting at all growing up as a child. I grew up in Victoria, BC. And so spent my childhood riding hunter jumpers, so horses, and sailing around the Gulf Islands. So never ever had exposure to any of that. I love the outdoors, but just never knew anyone that hunted. then I
So
guess after
how
like that.
how did you get into it? Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So met TJ.
Okay.
I've
And
heard his name once or twice, Vanessa.
yeah, so my partner is TJ Schwanke, and I'm sure quite a few
Okay.
people have heard of him.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and of course, when I met him, I had no clue. Like, we didn't meet in a sort of a hunting party or anything like that. It was just we were at a party and we
Okay.
met, and I'm like, I had no clue who he was. I didn't know what he did, like nothing. And so, go forward, and we're going on this date, and he's like, well, I'm like, so what are we going to do today? And he's like, I have to go sight in some rifles. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
And so we went out and we shot like a bunch of different types of rifles, and I had so much fun. In fact, I had so much fun that as soon as I got home, I signed up for the Alberta Hunter Education course.
Good for you. That's amazing.
And so, so excited. I, immediately, phoned
Mhm.
him and told him, I'm like, yeah, guess what I did? And he's like, oh.
Look what I did.
And he put a lot of obstacles in front of me. He did not encourage me. He's like, "Oh, well, it's a lot of hard work, and I don't know if you want to do this and everything. And you're a city girl, and and I don't know, just something deep down inside of me when we went and shot those rifles. I had so much fun, and it felt like home to me.
Yeah.
It was a really, really weird feeling, and I just knew it was something I had to pursue, and just kept an open mind and tried it out, and I've never looked back ever since. My life has completely changed.
Right.
Oh,
So how long ago was that? Give our viewers a sense of how many years ago that was that you shot this first rifle.
In 2005.
All right.
wow.
And so in your written media release, you use the word adult onset hunter, or maybe that was in your bio. So
Yeah.
since you've become an adult onset hunter, how much have you traveled, and how much of the world have you seen because of this sport that you've embraced?
Well, started out probably just mostly hit Canada and mostly Alberta. The main reason is because TJ didn't want to travel to go hunting. He felt he had enough game he wanted to hunt in North America.
Okay.
I, on the other hand, had a dream ever since I was a young child to go to Africa. So in 2009, we hit Africa. And yeah, since then, I've traveled 5 continents, and I'm hoping to hit my 6th continent in August of this year.
Wow. Congratulations on that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Not only can you travel with this, you could also do it with your spouse or your partner, and you can also it's something you can achieve your goals. So we're living vicariously through you. Or maybe we shouldn't be. Maybe we should be also going out and doing this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
wonder if TJ'd mind if we kick his suitcase off the plane and we jump on with you, Vanessa.
We're always willing to have tag-alongs, so
awesome.
the more the merrier, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you were recently, speaking of being in places, in
Yeah.
Nashville.
Yes, we were at the
And
Safari Club International Convention, and also Grand Slam Club Ovis is holding their convention in conjunction with SCI, and this is the first year that they are doing that. So
Okay.
super exciting. So yeah.
and what happened when you were down there hanging out in Nashville?
Let's
So
get to it.
went to a lot of really, really exciting places.
Yeah.
But like Safari Club International Convention, if you haven't gone, you need to go. It is truly an amazing convention. There is so much to see, and so many, like there's outfitters, there's jewelry, there's furs, there's taxidermy. I mean, everything that you can imagine all in one place for a hunter.
Mhm.
It is truly fantastic. I mean, the first time I ever went to Safari Club International, I think I walked around the floor for the first day with my jaw hanging on the floor. So, and every year it still blows me away that I go. So that was.
Can you do me a favor? Can you tell people about Safari Club International, what exactly it is? Because some of our listeners may not know exactly what that organization is.
Good
Okay.
point, Kelly.
Yeah.
Good point.
So it is an organization that obviously they've got many different avenues.
Mhm.
They do support hunters and conservation throughout the world, not just in the States, which a lot of people believe.
Yeah.
There is chapters all over the world, and we have quite a few chapters in Canada.
Mhm.
And they support conservation throughout the world, and again, they support hunters and also education. They're very, very big on education. And so they're just an amazing organization to be a part of.
And I think that's such a great point, Vanessa, and thank you for sharing it. We often, when we do get the chance to talk about hunting, we always try and tie in the fact for anybody who's listening that hunting and conservation go hand in hand. And
They
so
absolutely
many of these groups, organizations, and associations put effort and energy and time into conservation and animal husbandry and wildlife support and all of these wonderful things because we as hunters and outdoors people love the outdoors.
Yes,
So
we
thank
do.
you for sharing that. Thank you
That's
for sharing
exactly
that.
it.
So
So
before we went live, you were talking about, sorry, Callie,
nope,
before
go ahead.
before we went live, Vanessa said she wasn't even going to go to SCI, and so she ended up there last minute. So I thought that would be cool for everybody to hear how she ended up down there. So
Yeah, it was quite funny. This year we had decided every year we do a lot of trade shows. And this year we decided, you know what? Let's just stay home during trade show season and not take any trade shows in. And I guess it was probably about September. We had a girlfriend over for dinner and she was like, "So, aren't you guys going to Nashville next year?" And we're like, "Well, we really don't want to do any trade shows. We're going to just skip it for the year." And I said, "Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to feel a lot of FOMO seeing all these people
Yeah.
posting what a wonderful time they're having in Nashville and how much fun they're having at Safari Club and all the cool things they're seeing." And TJ's like, "Yeah, I was actually thinking the exact same thing." And I'm like, "Let's just book it and go ahead." So we did.
I'm glad that you went because let's talk about the Bob Spiegel Super Slam Summit Award that you were given. So tell
So
everybody about that.
yeah, so that was completely unexpected. It's not an award that you can put in for. You can't apply for it or anything. And so I was notified about 2 weeks before we were headed to Nashville
Okay.
by someone from Grand Slam Club Ova saying, "Are you going to be at the convention in Nashville?" And because you've won the Bob Spiegel Super Slam Summit Award for North American Big Game in the rifle category. And I was like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, that's amazing." So then, of
Yeah.
course, I had to quickly look up what it was. So interestingly enough, um,
Wonderful.
and so, it's an amazing trophy that is actually voted on by a committee, the GSCO committee. And
Wow.
it's voted on to be the top overall North American trophy submitted and so there's one for rifle and one for archery. And so I won the one for rifle with my Muskox. So it was really unexpected. And it's not something that anybody can, go after or put in for. It's just happens.
You're you're nominated and you're voted on and you won it. So
Yeah.
congratulations. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Do you have you do you so is there anything that comes along with it besides the recognition?
I got a kick-ass trophy.
Let's see it if you have it.
right, show the hardware. Show the hardware.
Wonderful. Oh my goodness. Look at that.
That is super cool. Very, very
Yeah.
amazing. Congratulations, Vanessa. And because this is called She Shoots, this podcast, I just want to point out the obvious. This award is not for a woman.
No.
It is for the best hunter that was voted by this committee. So so you had to compete against every entry and didn't even know you were doing it. So that's absolutely super, super
Yeah.
cool.
And I mean,
So
that is one cool thing about hunting.
Mhm.
Is it is, it's something that it doesn't matter what your gender is, right?
No, it doesn't.
And in today's world, it's all about inclusivity and
Mhm.
gender neutrality. Well, hello,
yeah,
that's what hunting and shooting is about, right?
exactly, exactly. Good point. So you were hunting a particular animal. We talked about this muskox. I mentioned it in the opening about it being so significant.
Yeah.
Take us to that hunt. that bagged you that big bull muskox, and share with us. If people want to see the photos, he is a brute. He's beautiful, so
Yeah.
they can find them. Yeah.
Yeah, it truly was an amazing hunt. I'm going to take you back a little bit. We actually called that hunt Full Circle in the Arctic. And the reason why, I'm going to get all emotional. I had my very, very first big game hunt, like my first hunt period in my life, started in the Northwest Territories, less than 100 miles from where I hunted my muskox. And that was for Central Barren Ground caribou. And so that happened in October of 2005. And so in order for me to go and get my Super 10, I had one animal left to do, and that was my muskox. And so Kevin McNeil from Canadian Wildlife contacted me, and he's like, "We just got muskox tags. You got to come up here." And the Northwest Territories, if anybody has been up there, it is absolutely breathtaking up there. When we landed, we came in on float planes, and you're in literally the middle of nowhere. It was all green and lush and beautiful. And in those 10 days that we were there, the colors changed to brilliant, like burgundies and yellows and reds. And it was absolutely spectacular. So the very first day, we just, got ready and everything, and so what we were doing was we were taking boats out, just little boats, and headed up. And so Kevin had an idea where we wanted to go, and he wanted to go on a far boat trip. The only thing is that we knew that the weather was going to turn that day. And so we ended up going about 2 hours up this one lake into a bay that he called Cambridge Bay, and went into there and just kept glassing and glassing. What we would do is we'd just stop, get out of the boat, look for muskox and everything, and then come back in the boat, head to the next bay. And you continue on like that. And we come around this one corner, and there is like muskox all on this ridge. And we're like, oh, this is going to be exciting. So quickly, got the boat beached and got out. And by this point, the muskox had actually worked their way around a corner. So we were really lucky they still hadn't spotted us and kind of snuck in. And we were really trying to act quickly because with this bad weather that was supposed to come in, one, we were worried being in a small boat, and two, with the weather coming in, I was originally hoping to take my muskox with my bow. And so when we first spotted the group, there was two really nice bulls. And at that point, we're just glassing, or trying to pick which one is, picking them apart, and, figuring out scores, and trying to figure out which one is the biggest one and which one is the most mature and everything else. And have the spotting scope on them. And we're looking and we're looking. And all of a sudden, this other muskox comes over the rise and stands next to the other one. And he made the other one look like a calf. And it
Oh
Oh
was
my
just,
goodness.
my.
Wow.
oh, wow. I'm like, you guys have got to have a look at this. And so then game on. Now we had to figure out how to stalk them. And the wind was starting to come up.
Okay.
And so we had to go all the way around in order to get in on them. And at this point, by the time we got in on them, the winds were probably blowing 60K
Wow.
crosswind.
Wow.
And so I tried my hardest for 2 hours to get in on my bow. And
Wow.
the closest I got was 45 yards. And normally that wouldn't have been a problem. 45 yards with a bow, no problem.
Yeah.
But with 60 kilometer an
That's
hour
a problem.
crosswinds, that's a problem. And
Right.
so I'm like, and so Kevin's like, well, how close do you have to get? I'm like, I need to be like 20 yards or less. I need to sneak in. So I tried sneaking in. And then I'm like, well, I had read somewhere that you can sometimes just walk right up to them. It just totally surprises them. So let's try it. We walked straight, and he just kept moving. It was like he knew that he had to stay so far, and I couldn't get him. Right. So
Yeah.
the rest of the herd was starting to get nervous and antsy, and I really didn't want to wait another day and wait for the weather. They constantly move. So this could be my only chance. So after a long deliberation, I put down the bow and picked up my rifle 300 Win Mag, and 110 yards.
Good for you.
Perfect heart shot.
Amazing. Amazing. And then the work begins, right?
And then the work
Mhm.
Yeah.
began. And the sad thing is with the muskox, their cape is so beautiful.
Mhm.
And so it's not something that you want to just, do a shoulder mount on. You want to take the whole cape.
Right.
And you can't cut it up into pieces and have the taxidermist sew it back together. So TJ and I took all of the meat in our packs and we rolled up the whole cape and we put
Wow.
it on Kevin's shoulders.
Wow.
And so what we did was TJ ran ahead and tried to dump like all of his gear so that he could come back and give Kevin and I a hand. So what I did was I walked ahead, and the tundra is very, very uneven. There's a lot of
Yeah.
holes, there's a lot of rocks. And so what I did was I would walk ahead and try and find the safest route for him to go and the flattest route for him to go. And where it wasn't flat, I would take him by the hands and just sort of lead him to basically keep him standing up. And
Okay.
we got back to camp and we actually weighed that cape, and it was 156 pounds.
Wow.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And
Yeah.
how long did it take you to get from there to back to camp?
I'd say
How
it
long
was,
that?
so it was probably about a 2 kilometer hike from where I shot him to the boat. 2 kilometers at 156 pounds.
That's
That's
significant.
crazy.
That's a
Right?
lot of weight. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
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 So, wow, what a great story to tell us. And so with that, then you were given the award as part of that. So,
And the great thing is we drove up to the Northwest Territories.
Mhm.
We brought all the meat home.
I
oh,
love
good
it.
for you.
I love it.
And the muskox is so good.
Yeah.
Barbecue at
Wonderful.
Vanessa's. All
Yep.
right.
Yep.
So you did say that you brought all the meat home. How much meat did you have to process?
It was a lot.
What was the weight?
You know what?
I'm curious because based on moose versus deer versus muskox, it's
Yeah.
significantly more.
And so we were actually surprised because, there's Greenland muskox, and even there's like the muskox up in Nunavut. And they are not quite, so the muskox up in the NWT where we were hunting them, they're actually quite a lot larger bodied than
Okay.
the Nunavut and the Greenland muskox. And so we were quite surprised when we got them on the ground. And I'd say there was at least maybe 600 pounds of meat.
Wow.
And what we did was we deboned everything in the field. So luckily, Kevin has experience as a butcher, and both TJ and I have a lot of experience of
Mhm.
deboning in the field when we're in the mountains. That's how we do all of our sheep and elk and everything else. So it made things a lot easier as far as that was concerned. You're not taking out bone at all. So
A lot
That
lighter.
is, significant amount
Mhm.
amount of meat. So we started this story about it being the last item you needed for your Super 10.
Yes.
So as briefly as you can, share with us, because that's 10 animals. That could be 10
Correct.
amazing stories. But what we would love to know is what 10, and I don't know, can you remember which order?
Maybe. So funny story that goes with the Super 10 thing is that when TJ was putting in for his Grand Slam, when he got his Grand Slam, and he was on the Grand Slam Ovis website, and he's like, "What's this Super 10 award thing?" So he looks at it and he goes, "I seem to have gotten my Super 10 in 1978." And I said, "Well, what do you need for a Super 10?" So we went through the list, and you can actually find their form on the Grand Slam Club Ovis page, but
Okay.
there are 10 categories of North American big game. And so there's one category, and it's got black bear, grizzly bear, Alaska brown bear, and polar bear. Second category is cougar or jaguar.
Okay.
That was pre 1972, so obviously now it's just cougar.
Yeah.
Then the next category is white-tailed deer, mule deer, Coues deer, Sitka blacktail, and Columbia blacktail. Next category, Rocky Mountain elk, Thule elk, and Roosevelt elk. Followed by next category, mountain caribou, Quebec Labrador caribou, woodland caribou, barren ground caribou, and central Canadian barren ground caribou. Sixth category, Canada moose, Shiras moose, Alaska Yukon moose. Seventh category, bison or muskox.
Okay.
Eighth category, mountain goat, American mountain goat. Ninth category, pronghorn antelope. The last category, Dall sheep, Rocky Mountain bighorn, stone or fannin, California bighorn, or desert bighorn. So all you have to do is choose one of those in each of the categories.
Right.
So my first one I got was the central Canadian barren ground caribou.
Okay.
And so I have both a black bear and a grizzly bear. I put in my black bear because that was my next animal that I got. Then it was mule deer, Rocky Mountain elk, Canada moose, cougar, antelope, mountain goat, and bighorn, and then muskox. And I'm not sure if that order was totally correct, but it was close.
Okay.
That's cool. The miles you've traveled and the amount of weight you've carried was just calculating in my mind as you were doing that. That's significant.
Of all those hunts, what do you think is your most memorable hunt or your most favorite? Maybe there's two different. Maybe it's memorable, and then maybe it's a favorite. And sometimes we have memorable hunts because maybe they weren't all that great.
No, I get that question a lot. What is my very favorite hunt? And to me, I love them all. Like they all have so many cherished, great memories.
Yeah.
Some of them have a lot of hardships and struggles. I think a lot of people know about my mountain goat struggles. I went 5 times for mountain goat. In those times, I ended up breaking my arm very badly on one of those hunts and having surgery. That goat I was cursed on. So I was very, very happy to get my mountain goat. Probably a very, very good, big favorite of mine was my Rocky Mountain bighorn.
Okay.
I am absolutely, or I was terrified of heights, like terrified of heights when I first met TJ, to the point that one time we went up and I was literally gripping the side of a rock and going, and he's like, well, we just need to go over there just through these like 2 avalanche chutes to see if there's a sheep there. And I'm like, you go check and I'll stay here. I'll be fine. And just let me know if you see a sheep and I'll make my way over there. I was so happy that he didn't see a sheep that day, but I knew I had to figure it out. I really, really wanted to be a sheep hunter. So I had to figure out my fear of heights and I had to get over it. And so, 2 years later, I managed to get my bighorn sheep. So yeah, so that was big. And
I was just going to say it's part of it too, right? The hunting piece of it, it also shows us where we are and what challenges we have within ourselves as well and how to overcome that. So congratulations on your fortitude and keeping your your stick to itness.
That's right.
Stubbornness.
Yes, right. I wasn't going to say stubbornness. Stick to itness.
So I love the stories, and I love you've had to overcome some personal challenges and clearly hardships and broken bones. And it shows on your face, Vanessa, the pride, the passion, the emotion. So I want to just ask one quick question. In Canada, hunting is part of our heritage. And like you said, there's no barriers to entry. We can hunt as young, as young people, as young kids, as old as we want, to be able to traipse through mountains and fields. So why do you think it's an important part of our heritage? And with what's going on with gun regulations and restrictions right now, what's important for people to know about hunting and it being part of our heritage, in your opinion?
Oh my goodness, that's a huge question. It's really, really important. Conservation is so important. And as hunters, I believe that we have the finger on the pulse of conservation, wildlife management, taking care of our land. And we're the stewards of that. It's so important. We all need to work together towards that. There's so much that people can do. And like I said earlier, this is one of the most inclusive lifestyles you could have. It doesn't matter what age you start doing this at, right? And that has been proven time and time again by people who start late in life or start early in life. It doesn't matter. It's that passion to get out in the outdoors, that passion to share your bounty and share with everybody that you possibly can, and to help educate people. And it's just so important. And it's not just in Canada, but all over the world. And in my travels, I have learned that so much, that, wildlife management conservation is not just because of Canada. It's worldwide. And we've learned that going into homes. As a young child, I traveled a lot throughout the world, but it was as a tourist. And now that I'm a hunter, I'm going into these homes and I'm traveling the world, and I'm learning culture, and I'm learning food, and I'm learning lifestyle that I never ever would have learned as a tourist. And it's that lifestyle as a hunter and a conservationist that brought me to that. And it truly is an amazing, amazing thing that we have, and we should cherish it and look after it.
Thank you so much for sharing and answering that question. It's a long road for us to impress upon people that have not had the opportunity to be exposed to it or taken the time maybe to learn about the link to conservation. But I follow your and TJ's social medias, and I love when you guys share your food pictures. I love when families over and the parents are over and the big celebrations, and you honor those animals over and over again in sharing this with not only your family and friends, but anybody who follows you on social media. So I think that is very, very cool. So would you like to share a little bit with us, Vanessa, about Outdoor Quest TV? Because that's a big part of what you and TJ do. And I'm sure that has a lot to do with your passion for the outdoors and conservation as well.
So Outdoor Quest TV has been the longest independently produced hunting show in Canada. And we are currently airing our 25th season.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, we started in 1999, if you can believe it. So absolutely amazing. And we have a lot of fun doing it. Our tagline, of course, is "It's all about the journey," and it really is. We love learning about not just the hunting, but the culture, the food, and the people.
So Casey just put the outdoorquesttv.com where we can find you on Facebook and Instagram. So how is the TV show distributed?
So right now we're airing on Wild TV. And you can also catch some of our older episodes on YouTube. Outdoor Quest TV has their own YouTube channel. So you can just find us on YouTube if you search Outdoor Quest TV.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you.
So people can look at the back catalog, and then they can join you with your most recent stuff on Wild TV. So
yes, yeah,
go
and
over there
we're
and
still uploading some really, really old episodes. But I know that TJ did just upload my very, very first hunt, so that's pretty cool too.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So 1999, that's not just yesterday, is it? You've been around for a while. That's wonderful. No, seriously, it's wonderful. It shows the dedication that you have, you and TJ, and it also it goes a long ways towards showing people that when you just talked about it, it's our heritage, is what we do, and it's something that you love to do. All that social. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I interrupted.
I was just going to say all that social media as well. When you are posting, I follow you as well, and just the joy on your face, the smile that you have, it's just wonderful to see. It's something that is promoting your sport, our sport, and our heritage. So,
thank you.
Yeah,
absolutely. So in your bio, Vanessa, you're also noted as a gear junkie.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a tendency to go down a lot of rabbit holes when I'm looking for something. And of course, I have to find the best thing that's going to work for me. Uh, being that we've been in this industry for a long time, back when I first started, there wasn't a whole lot of good fitting women's gear.
No.
And that's not just clothing, but backpacks and rifles and everything else. So I'm always on the search that's going to fit me well so that I can function properly in the outdoors.
And
There's
so
still-
do you want, oh, sorry, go ahead, Cal.
I was just going to make note that there has been it's changed a lot over the years, but it's actually in the most recent years there's been a lot that has been changing just because of how many more women are getting into it, and the fact that we need clothing and items and gear that fits us. I've noticed it personally. Have you noticed that as well?
Yes, and I mean, I believe that from what I've read, is that women hunters are the fastest growing demographic in
They are.
hunting.
Yep.
Mhm.
And it took a long time for people to recognize that and to pay attention. And
Mhm.
I remember going to a SHOT Show probably about 15 years ago and talking to someone saying, well, aren't you going to bring out something for women that's going to fit women properly? And they were like, no, because, like there's just not a big enough market. Well, I bet he's eating
We're
his words
here.
now.
So share with us. I'm sure that you've got some sponsors on the show
Yep.
and maybe some personal favorites. Share with us and our listeners some of those great product lines that are either for women or that work really well for your gear bag or for your hunting equipment.
Yeah. So of course, I mean, a lot of it I'm not sponsored as a hunter. We have corporate like basically they're like corporate partners, our
Mhm.
sponsors. We have some amazing sponsors and they've been long time sponsors. So we've got Hornady, fantastic sponsor. We have Zeiss, and Zeiss, we use their scopes, rifle scopes, and also their binoculars and the spotting scopes, and we couldn't manage without them. They're just amazing products. Then there is Sacco rifles, and again, they have really paid attention to fit
Yeah.
as far as women goes and everything else. So that's been just great. A lot of times, TJ and I, we almost fit the same rifle. My length of pull is a little shorter than his, and also the cheek weld is slightly different on a woman than a man. And now of course they make rifles that have the comb adjustable and everything else, and also the trigger is adjustable, so it works really, really well. When we travel, we can take one rifle and share it, and it works fantastic. Stony Creek is our clothing sponsor, and they are fantastic. They have amazing women's line called Sisterhood, and they have backpacks, boots, clothing, like you name it. And they New Zealanders know how to do clothing, let me tell you, and they know how to do layering. They know how to handle wet weather gear. So I love their clothing, and I pretty much live in their clothing 24/7 if I can.
Good recommendation then.
Yeah. So some other ones, of course, we have is SCI Canada, Safari Club International Canada. They're amazing sponsors, and we couldn't do anything without them. They're absolutely phenomenal ambassadors for Canada. And again, we have Silver Willow Taxidermy. Curtis and Jen Fisher are fabulous. And I don't know if you guys see some of the taxidermy work behind us, but
We do.
and I believe Curtis is working on my Muskox as we speak right now. So super excited about that. Yukon Magnum Bear Spray.
Okay.
Really important to have. We carry it everywhere in the field with us. We carry it with our horses in the backcountry. We carry it with us just on the ranch, and of course when we're hunting, always with us. We've even had to use it on occasion at home with bears.
Okay.
So, and of course, deluxe wall tents. Amazing hunt. Deluxe wall tents are absolutely amazing, and you couldn't beat them. When we've gone to the Yukon and done 14-day trips, just, TJ and I and the dog in the tent, it's been absolutely fabulous. So those are
Wonderful.
just a few of our amazing sponsors.
And all of those brands we can find on those websites that Casey posted, I'm sure. So if anybody's interested.
Yeah, if
So
you
mo-
just go to our Outdoor Quest TV link, we actually have links to all of those sponsors.
Outstanding. That's fantastic.
Wonderful. Okay.
So another
So-
thing you do we haven't talked about. Okay, Kelly, I'm going to stop talking.
That's okay.
Is that you also write, and you're a recognized author. And I just wanted to just give a shout out for anything that you've written, where people might be able to find anything that you've published.
Okay. On my own personal Facebook and Instagram, I do have a link tree that links me to some of my writings. But you can also find them in North American Deer Hunter, North American Outdoors, North American Bow Hunter. Let's see. Wild Sheep magazine I've written for. There's just so many places I've written for. So, yeah, when I can, I'm writing. So,
Yeah. People can also probably look through Google and see if any of those articles are also published on the internet as well. And I'm
Yes.
sure that they are, or
Yes.
the links and access to them.
Yes.
But do you want to tell people where they can contact you, whether it's through, what is your handle? Is it handle? Do we say handle nowadays? What's your handle on Instagram, as well as on social media? Facebook and other social media.
Well, there we go. It looks like it just popped up on the screen. So Facebook, it's at Vanessa.Harrop, and Instagram, it's at Vanessa Harrop. You can also always reach me through any of the Outdoor Quest TV social media handles.
Perfect.
So
handles. Is that what we say?
I don't know.
I don't know. All right. One of our final questions is recommendations for women who want to get more involved in the outdoors and outdoor sports, or who actually want to go and do what you're doing.
I think reach out to your local fish and game club. Really.
Okay.
Alberta Hunter Education Instructors Association. So there's so many things out there. I mean, nowadays you can just Google, right? But, reach out. My first thing would be is if you totally don't know where to start, try and find a fish and game club near you and try and reach out to someone there. Facebook. You'd be surprised. Instagram. I mean,
Yeah.
you start following things, or things pop up on your feed that interest you. You can then reach out, look and see, are they local to me? Are they in Alberta? Are they in Ontario? And then go from there. It's such a huge fraternity, right?
Mhm.
And there's so many people willing to help out. So, yeah.
You're absolutely right.
You can always go to a party and meet a guy named TJ.
Okay,
You just never know.
Everybody raise their hands who've been introduced through their spouses or their partners. And
Right.
I think it's the gateway drug into shooting sports and hunting and fishing. So, but it's right. You're right. We're finding comfortability, and we're home. We're home when we do these types of things. So, and the wonderful thing about it is those people who are interested in just trying it out, they may also find that it's home for them too, and find such a wonderful community. So, yeah,
for sure.
All right. Well, thanks again for coming on. But don't go away, by the way. Just stay right there. We do have actually, I see that Casey has started a couple of questions here, and a couple of people are asking them. So we'll get everybody to come back on. But a big thank you to you for coming on. And I'd love to see the Muskox when it's all done. I'd love to send us pictures, please, and give us an update on how it looks. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, Vanessa. All right, Casey.
All right. So we do have one question from Senti W. After you started into shooting, what got you into hunting? Was TJ more supportive on that than getting your pal?
Well, I would say TJ was a whole lot more supportive. So once I did get my Alberta Hunter's education and passed the course and took it and stuck in there and wanted to shoot and wanted to go out and practice. He's like, okay, I think you're ready. He goes, I want to take you on a hunt. And he's the one that organized the first hunt in the Northwest Territories for Central Barren Ground caribou. So without him, I wouldn't have actually gone on my first hunt. That being said, I think he was kind of hoping, because I'd never shot an animal at this point, that I would get into that situation and go, I can't shoot an animal. Oh my goodness. And that I would just quit there. But once I think he realized how passionate I was and how much I really, really did love it, and the fact that he was not allowed to leave the house without me, I think he learned to get on board with support.
Great.
And do you mentor, Vanessa? Have you mentored other hunters, first-time male, female youth?
Unfortunately, I haven't. And the only reason why is because it's just the two of us, and we have to film 13 episodes a year. We're going crazy, like 9 million miles an hour trying to get footage and everything else. We have on occasion taken, some new hunters under our wing and help them out as much as we can. But unfortunately, I just can't put the time in to mentor somebody right at this time. Yeah, I would love to, though. That would be so much fun.
Yeah. All right. I think there's another question here from Abby. Casey, do you want to bring it up?
I just saw it, yes. What do you recommend for women whose husbands aren't hunters?
So the woman is a hunter and the man isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Leave him at
Or
home.
interesting.
I don't know. Like, we have so much fun together, and what's really, really cool is hunting is a very silent sport, as most of you know. So when you're hunting, you're obviously not arguing. But the amazing thing is you do learn to communicate with one another in complete silence. And I found it's really brought us very close, and we've learned body language and learned to listen to one another through body language and silence. And that truly does make your relationship a lot stronger. And so unfortunately, if your husband isn't a hunter, try and get him out there. Even if it's just, if he wants to just go out and take pictures while you're hunting so that he can memorialize your hunt.
Yeah.
I think that would be really special. And that's a step towards that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's worth
I think
a try.
what she was asking more is that she wants to be. So she wants to be a hunter. She isn't yet. But her husband isn't. So she doesn't have anybody to take her out with it.
Right. And that's where, again, contact your local fish and game club and see if you can get mentored and get under somebody's wing and get them to take you hunting and learn the ropes. And when your husband sees that you're going out and having a lot of fun without him, maybe he'll change his mind.
Mm-hmm. And even going to your local gun club, you can find people who are hunters, who are more than happy to take somebody under their wing as well.
Yeah. So there are organizations, or there's also Facebook groups specific to women. Go in there and just ask, where's everybody from? What area are you in? I'm in this area. Anybody want to go hunting with me? Because I've never done it, and I would love to do it with somebody. Find somebody else to actually take you out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Reach out to any of us on She Shoots. We get that question quite a bit, and we just we toss it over the fence to whomever we know in that part of Canada, and we connect. And to Kelly's point, we're on a bunch of shooting and hunting groups that tend to do that. Hey, I'm in this part of the world. Where are all you ladies from? And then you start connecting. So for anybody who wants to get connected, to your point, Vanessa, the internet and social media is a wonderful thing.
Yep.
And I haven't met a woman that's super enthusiastic about shooting and or hunting that isn't willing to help another woman.
Exactly.
Their interest along. Yeah.
And we've actually got another question from Gwen. Do you think hunting birds to start is easier? And I can say from personal experience, that's all I've done so far. So
Yeah, I mean, I think starting anywhere is great,
Mm-hmm.
right? It doesn't really matter where you start. For me, I started hunting big game before I started hunting birds, and I did find it extremely difficult to switch.
Yeah.
And so I actually ended up. TJ got me for Christmas one year, or actually it was my birthday, a day of spending a day with a trainer at Silver Willow shooting clays and
Mm-hmm.
learning how to shoot properly. He's like, I don't want to teach you all my bad habits, so I want you to learn from the professionals. Go there, spend the day, get trained properly, and then go from there. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it I found it very difficult to go from big game to shooting birds. So it takes it takes a talent. I kudos to anybody who shoots birds. I gotta say.
Well, and I as a bird hunter as well, two things I would add. Some people like shotguns better than rifles.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
For those that do any type of bird hunting, there's a dog element quite often. And if you're a dog lover, let the dogs do what they're meant to do, and you're not the hunter anymore. You're just the trigger. The
Yeah.
dog's doing the hunting, so it changes the dynamics. So yeah, you're right, Vanessa. Just get out and start.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a difference between the two as well. You're right, Deneen. One is typically done with shotguns and one's
Mhm.
done with a rifle.
Mhm.
It's totally different. It's a different style of hunting.
Absolutely.
You have to talk about leads, you have to talk about follow through, and with hunting it's point and aim and shoot. I'm talking about rifle, sorry. So it is different. So if you're used to hunting with a rifle, crossing over, for me, I started with point and shoot with a rifle, and then I took up skeet because why not? It's another sport, right? And beating the absolute, I had to just break my habit of point and shoot to actually work with leads and follow through and everything like that. So it made it easier when I did go into the bird. I started with birds first. And so when I started hunting, I started with birds first, and it was easier to actually do that. And then flipping over to what I'm really, really comfortable with is hunting with a rifle now. So, but I do believe for some people, birds are a little bit easier to get into because they don't have the beautiful eyelashes and big eyes.
They're also not 150 pounds to carry
That is correct.
out or 300 pounds to carry out.
Yeah. Yeah,
you
they're
know,
a little bit easier to clean in the field.
That is correct
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, your bag limit, doesn't fill your freezer. So exactly, absolutely. Are there more questions? Because I actually have one for Vanessa if there's nothing left from our viewer.
I think that's it for the viewers.
Okay.
So,
Where's your next hunt, Vanessa?
We head to the Eastern Cape of South Africa on April 12th for 10 days. And then in August, we are off to Mongolia. And that, that has been a bucket list place for me to go for a very, very long time. I've always wanted to see Mongolia and not just hunt it, but go to Mongolia, go on the trails of Genghis Khan and stay in a yurt. All my life, I wanted to ride a steppe horse from Mongolia. So we're doing a 5-day ibex hunt. And then after that, we're doing 5 days of horseback touring in the mountains of Mongolia. So I'm really excited about that.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Thanks for sharing. I saw that you had posted your dream hunt. So I wanted to remember to ask you tonight so you could share it with everyone.
Then you've hunted on all the continents at that point.
All huntable continents.
Okay. Yes. Sorry. All huntable. We're not going to the Antarctic to hunt penguins, I don't think.
No.
But anyways, so congratulations. It's going to be wonderful.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, it's time for me.
Yeah.
Give away some prizes, Regina.
Jump in.
Give away some prizes.
Okay. Hopefully my English will be a little bit better this time around. Okay, let's give out some prizes, Casey. So we have the She Shoots t-shirt and the Canon First Ammo prize pack. So how about we do the She Shoots t-shirt first?
Okay, so our winner for t-shirt is Senti W.
Yay!
And because you are on YouTube and we can't contact you through that, I will need you to contact me at casey@ladyguns.ca, and then we can get your t-shirt size and your address and we can send that off to you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. Okay, and then we'll do the Canada First Ammo prize pack. So who won that one?
All right, and we've got an Abby Slovak.
Yay, congratulations as well. And I believe that will be Deneen contacting Abby.
Yes.
And
we can
Abby
contact
feel
you through
free.
Facebook,
Yeah,
so we're good there.
absolutely. And Abby, if you want, you can reach out to us as well. So feel free.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. So congratulations to all our winners. Thanks again to Vanessa for attending our podcast today. It was very nice having you here. And then we did already share your social media, so that's perfect. I'm gonna make sure we don't forget those. So with that being said, I'll just go ahead and move on to upcoming events. So for the CUSF, we're always looking for volunteers. So if you're interested in volunteering, just please send us an email at submissions@cusf.ca. Also, if you're a student at a Canadian university and you are interested in creating a gun club at your university that doesn't have one, you can also send us an email at submissions@cusf.ca so we can get you help. We can help you get started. And that's it for me. Kelly Mapleseed.
So Mapleseed, we have some events that are posted on our website, mapleseedrifleman.com. Go over there. We are uploading, we're confirming. Let me rephrase that. As we confirm, we'll be uploading more events. Look for those across the country. And yeah, if you're interested in hosting an event, just send us an email at info@mapleseedrifleman.com, and I will send it out to whatever province or coordinator you're in. I can't talk anymore.
That's okay. You and me are on the same wavelength today.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. I think.
Okay, Deneen, Lady Guns.
All right.
Rescue us.
I'll try and see how my trails models work too. A couple of things I've got to look forward to is we were talking about shotgunning at Silver Willow. We've got the Youth Day and the Ladies Day that are back on the books for this season. So I'll get some information out so people can join up and come along. If you're ladies that want to come out and shoot, or you've got kids that want to come and try shotgunning on Sporting Place. So that's an event in Carstairs, Alberta. Other than that, we've got International Women's Day coming up in March, and we've got some events that we will all be co-hosting or range officering. I don't think that's a word. And when I'm not busy doing that, I'm going to see if I can pack my bags and sneak on the plane and go to South Africa with Vanessa.
Yes, actually, can I just go in your bag?
Yeah.
I'm a little
packed up in the bag.
Okay, awesome. So thank you. So I'll thank our sponsors again so we can wrap it up for tonight. So thank you again to Cabela's Canada Outdoor Fund, Savage Arms, Beretta, Vortex, and Canada First Ammo. If you like today's episode, please leave us a like and follow us so you don't miss out on any of our episodes. You can watch us on YouTube and Facebook, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio.
Nope.
If you liked our message and would like to learn more about our programs, check out our websites at cusf.ca, ladyguns.ca, and mapleseedrifleman.com. To support us and get some additional perks, check out our membership programs. Thank you all for tuning into the She Shoots podcast, Season 3, Episode 25. Vanessa Harrop, Super Slam Award winner 2024. Make sure to join us on March 12th for the next episode of the She Shoots podcast at our regular time, 5 p.m. PST, 6 p.m. MST, 8 p.m. EST. You know the drill. And keep an eye on our social medias for our next episode announcement. Thank you all and have a good night.